that there were technical problems with electronic transmission of the results, said that means there will be areas that should be worked on for further transparency and credibility to the voting process.
Your Excellency, the Vice President, Yemi Osibajo, Professor Yemi Osibajo, the Vice President-elect, Senator Kashim Shettima, Your Excellencies, our respectable governors here present, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, our dear INEC Chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, and the National Commissioners here present, honorable ministers and members of National Assembly, particularly the Senate President and the Speaker. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to stand on the previous protocol enumerated here. You all have my respect and courtesies. As I hold this certificate, this moment is one of the celebration and gladness for us all. The road has been long, yet we walk it. The battle has been hard fought, yet we won it. But more importantly, I realize that I'm just a servant of the larger purpose. You see, this is more than a document of certificate of election, confirming the positive outcome of an election. This important document symbolizes our collective democratic attainment and even loftier aspirations. It represents the impending transfer of most sacred duty and trust from one person to another. At its most sublime, this certificate also symbolizes that each of you has the ability to achieve what other believes is impossible for you to achieve. I stand before you as the president-elect, and yes, that is special. But I am not different than any one of you. If I can do this, you even can do it better. You must do better. Our destiny as a people and a nation depend on our ability to share the artificial restrictions of bias and prejudice so that we live fully onto our democratic creed, that no one is innately superior, entitled to greater rights and opportunities than any other Nigerian. Very soon, this nation shall witness a young person standing before you, holding this great symbol of democracy and national leadership. We shall see a woman standing before you, holding this certificate as its owner. We shall experience someone from a tribe that many people have tried to dismiss as somehow beginning to disqualify for this high office. By dint of hard work, determination, and unyielding belief in a noble endeavor, you can achieve the best of things. There are young people listening to me right now who shall one day be the leaders of our precious and exceptional democratic republic. Thus, by taking this certificate, I assume a sacred duty I shall never ignore. To you, the people, especially the youth, I will work day and night. I will work to the utmost best of my ability to make Nigeria better. For this to be a victory at all, it cannot simply be a victory for one man or even one party. It must become a victory for all Nigerians who are committed to a greater society. I know many did not vote for me, and you are disappointed that your candidate is not where I stand now. I understand. You hurt. Your anger, disappointment. I send the embrace and comfort of one family member to another. This great project called Nigeria beckons to us all. It is bigger and more important than any partition divide. To my supporters, I ask you to continue to have faith in the mission that we have articulated. Though those who didn't support me, I ask that you not allow the disappointment of this moment to keep you from realizing the historic national progress we can make by working together. We must join hands in this common endeavor to pull the nation through. In a phrase, I'm asking you to work with me. I may be the president in an election, but I need you more importantly. Nigeria needs you a lot more than just one person. My heart, my door are open to you. I ask you to come in so that we may begin the task of rebuilding our national home together, day by day, brick by brick. Where there is poverty, let us create prosperity and jobs. Where there is hunger, let us feed the people, chasing the hunger from our midst. Where there is no scarcity, let us rediscover the abundance. Where there's brutality, we may replace it with brotherhood. Where there's violence, stalk the land, we may establish peace. Where others have erected temples to hatred and bias, we may reconstruct permanent monuments to compassion and abiding affection. History will record that this day is the moment when I officially stood before you as a president-elect. However, I would like to dedicate this day and record it as the moment that we vowed to come together to make Nigeria stand shining forth as the beloved and brave republic that God created for all of us. We are committed to the progress, development, and renewed hope of Nigerians. God bless you.
Well, another victory speech from the President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who just received a certificate of returns from the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. The President-elect says he realizes he's just a servant of the larger purpose despite winning the election, and he encouraged Nigerians to keep hope alive as one day, he says, a youth and a woman will become president of the country. He says they will work day and night for the youths to make Nigeria better. He acknowledged that feelings are hurt and not all Nigerians voted for him, but he says Nigeria is bigger and more important than any partition divide, and all hands must be on deck to rebuild the nation by eradicating poverty, hunger, unemployment, brutality, hatred, and bias.
All right, the presentation came a few hours after Tinubu was declared winner of the Saturday, the 25th of February polls, garnering 8,794,726 votes to defeat his closest rival, Atiku Abubakar of the PDP, who scored 6,984,502. Tinubu, the All Progressive Congress flag bearer, took his first shot at presidency for the first time in a keenly contested election. The former governor of Lagos State came out tops in 12 of Nigeria's 36 states and secured significant numbers in several other states to claim the highest number of votes.
And you can just see the amount of people in the venue right now swarming and getting, albeit very excited, to welcome the president-elect after his victory speech. He said the battle had been hard fought, yet we won, calling himself a servant of the larger purpose. Tinubu also explained that the certificate was a symbol of a collective democratic attainment of loftier aspirations and the transfer of the very sacred duties and the trust of Nigerians onto him. And he says it shows the ability that
Your Excellencies,
achieving many things are possible. And we have Arise News analyst Sumner Sambo on ground. Politics editor, Arise Politics editor Sumner Sambo on ground to talk to us about what just transpired. Sumner, thank you for joining us this afternoon on Newsday. All right, Sumner, what do you make of the proceedings and the atmosphere?
All right, thank you so much. It's been an exciting moment for several APC leaders and their supporters here. And of course, I would want to bring in now the national woman leader of the APC, Dr. Betta Edu, who was at the heart of the mobilization for the president-elect and should want to share experiences with us here. So just talk to us about how excited you are about seeing Bola Ahmed Tinubu being given the certificate of return as the president-elect alongside his vice presidential candidate-elect, Kashim Shettima.
This is a dream come true for Nigeria. It's a dream come true for me as Betta. It's a dream come true for indeed every woman in APC. We've worked so hard, mobilized women in their millions, had to send out different materials at different times to see how we can reach down to the grassroots. It's been very, very engaging being at all the campaigns, speaking to women in their millions and encouraging them to vote for our party. Beyond this, we've had one-on-one consultations, stakeholders meeting with key sectors in society. And we're glad today that this has given birth to the next president of Nigeria, which is President-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We're proud of him. We know with him, women are secured. We would have the front burner. We'll be empowered, and even the grassroots women will be better off for it. Women, this is your time.
All right, so the next thing now is the formation of a cabinet ahead of Inauguration Day and all of that. What will you say as per the expectations of women to be at the federal cabinet?
So he has said already that the Federal Executive Council will be made up of 35% of women, and indeed all other positions, board, parastatals, 35% of it will be women. So women are hopeful, and we are ready to give our own portion to nation development.
All right, thank you so much. That's Dr. Betta Edu. And of course, we also have the APC youth leader around. Oh, okay. So we'll still be getting other guests to come join us here. Now, it's been a moment where the president-elect has had to address the nation, and he kept saying that, look, Nigerians should trust him to be able to work on his promises, unite the nation, and ensure that even though everyone didn't vote for him, but at least they have the trust in him that he's able to take Nigerians to the promised land. And of course, we can see lots of enthusiastic APC leaders who are all here. And the governor of Ogun State is just joining us right now, His Excellency Dapo Abiodun. Your Excellency, exciting moment for the APC. The president-elect has now got his certificate of return. What do you have to say?
Well, thank you very much for having me. This is not only exciting, but historic. You know, the last 72 hours have witnessed a lot of criticisms. The situation has been almost near explosive. But the truth is that INEC has done very well. There is no perfect election anywhere in the world. Particularly in a system like ours where democracy is still fledgling. I make bold to say that the chairman of INEC and his team are the unsung heroes at this event. They stayed up several hours till we out of this morning to ensure that the finished collation, they announced the winner, and today we're here to collect a certificate. This is testament to hard work, to focus, to consistency, to being deliberate, to being determined, and to having a passion to lead a people and make a change. I also want to salute Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu for this courage. My prayer is that the God Almighty will continue to endow him with the needed wisdom and bless him with knowledge, and so that he can make that difference that he intends to make. That renewed hope that he has promised us.
All right, Your Excellency. Before you go,
Yes.
there are these talks that the North has paid back its own part of the bargain by ensuring there's power shift to the South. What would you have to say about that?
Well, let me say what my colleagues and I decided almost a year ago, that the presidency must shift to the South. There must be something that informed that position. I want to thank my colleagues because they stayed very faithful to that promise. They also are the unsung heroes in this particular Nigerian project. They stayed with it, they kept a promise, and will continue to join hands together to build the future of Nigeria together. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And of course, that is Dakwa Abiodun, the governor of Ogun State, which is a neighboring Lagos State where the president-elect actually comes from. And we've also had some leaders here who keep saying that this moment remains unbelievable to them. It looks more of like they've hit some jackpot, a very huge lottery here, because I mean, the APC had lots of problems, internal wranglings here and there. But of course, they are grateful to the people of Nigeria for entrusting their trust in the presidential candidate of the party, who is now the president-elect, and then, of course, the vice president-elect. And so they are promising good governance ahead. Well, it's left for Nigerians to be able to see if indeed the APC has the capacity to fulfill its renewed hope mandate that it has promised Nigerians. But I can tell you, just like the president-elect has said, there are lots of divisions within the country. He's saying that a lot of young women, older women, young men, and older men will benefit from his policies. And as we head towards Inauguration Day on May 29, we hope that they'll be able to fulfill that. Now we have the Ondo State Governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, who is here to tell us how Ondo State did the magic too, and of course what this means for power shift between North and South, and of course the unity of Nigeria. You're welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you. As you all know, people know, Ondo people are progressive people, and we always at least be on the side of progressivism. And from the onset, who are the forefront of clamoring for a southern president. So we had to put everything we had to it, and we got support. That's why we were able to make it.
A lot of supporters and Nigerians will say that your ability to deliver your state to the APC is, something that, will go into the history books, because a lot of people thought that you were losing ground, your state, and Ondo State came out for APC, in very large numbers. What exactly was responsible for that?
Well, if people thought I was losing ground, I did not think so. I'm firmly on ground in Ondo State, and I knew that at the end of the day, we are going to deliver, when it comes to percentage, the highest percentage for this process. And God has assisted us. And what is important really is that for us, this election is the freest election we have ever held in this country. And
the PDP and LP are disagreeing with you on that.
You see, the figures are there to show. It's not, this is an election that has not been padded. People who voted have been counted. We are not padded. This is not one that is not padded. That's where I see it. It's not one who throw millions of votes. You can see the candidates. Everybody won 12 states.
Yes,
it's never been like that before.
Before I let you go, we expected a call from Atiku Abubakar or Peter Obi, just like it happened in 2015 between Goodluck Jonathan and Buhari, but that didn't happen. This means that the nation needs more healing. What would you say at this moment to heal the nation?
No, I totally agree with you. And I know that the president-elect has set up committees to meet up with the gentlemen who contested against him for us to start the healing. And I belong to one of the committees. We are going to meet them, appeal to them so we can work together. So that's where I see it. Election is gone now, but we pray that we can work together.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Rotimi Akeredolu there, who's also a senior advocate of Nigeria, and of course the governor of the southwestern state of Ondo. And it's a very good gesture. He has said that the president-elect has set up a committee of notable leaders of the All Progressives Congress to approach the other contestants, especially the major ones that took part in this election. That is Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, who came second, and of course Peter Obi of the Labour Party, who came third, and then of course Rabi Musa Kwankwaso, who came fourth, and then of course all other political parties. I mean, we are seeing the president-elect doing this when he emerged as the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress when he won the ticket of the party last year. He personally visited Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Rotimi Amechi, and other presidential aspirants who had contested with him. And so we've just got this privileged information right now that a committee of prominent APC leaders has been set up by President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu to see how they can liaise with these presidential candidates of other political parties to ensure that Nigeria is united.
Of course, Rotimi Amechi, I beg your pardon, Rotimi Akeredolu has actually spoken and also identified the fact that there are still aggrieved parties, even after certificate of returns have actually been issued out to the president-elect and the vice president-elect. For those that are still on the sides, talk to us. What are the feelers coming in Abuja? What are they talking about rallying their troops in terms of going to the tribunal and also to using other dispute resolutions to probably see their mandates come through for them?
Well, I couldn't hear you clearly, but of course I picked some words there which has to do about the vice president-elect and all of that. Well, it's been a moment of joy for the vice president-elect Kashim Shettima.
If you can hear me, I hope you can hear me. I'm talking about the Labour Party and the People's Democratic Party. They are not happy with all that has happened, and they will still be, and they are still going out there. What are the feelers you're getting in terms of their next line of action? Because right now, things are going on as usual for the All Progressive Congress because they have won. But for those that have lost, what are the feelers that are their next line of action?
Well, it seems pretty difficult. I can't actually hear you so much, but I'm being told that we have some chieftains of the All Progressives Congress, including one of them who's a senator-elect right here. So who he happens to also be the Turaki of Ilorin. Well, let me just speak with you first and welcome here. Yes. All right, Saliu Mustafa, it's good to have you. I think it will be good if you just turn so that our viewers will see you very well. No, I mean this other way. All right, so talk to us about the victory of the APC and then, of course, the presidential candidate. A lot of expectations by Nigerians on the president-elect. What do you have to Nigerians on the renewed hope mandate with Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Well, thank you once more for giving me this opportunity to first and foremost, let's thank Almighty Allah who has given us the opportunity to see today and that the election came in peace and we have ended everything in a peaceful manner. First and foremost, our party, the All Progressive Congress, APC, has worked very hard for this victory. It's a victory we were sure of because we knew what we were doing. We saw the way the other party, the opposition party, took their campaign and how they were connecting with the electorate. But we had a direct connect with the electorate, and they've seen some of the good work already done by the present administration. So the mandate they've given to APC now and to the presidential candidate of APC now, President-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is another continuation for the good job started by the APC administration. So for me, we saw this coming and we worked hard for it. And we pray that all hands must be on deck now.
But sorry if I be caught in. The APC went into this election divided, but it looks like the presidential candidate just tried to cement the APC just to ensure that there was the delivery of this, ticket. What would you say, as having been a member of the National Working Committee yourself, as to how the APC needs to unite forward so that you don't disintegrate further, especially those who are aggrieved in one process or the other, but who just are just laying back? How much support can the president-elect get from them?
Well, let me first of all correct you. I was not a member of the National Working Committee. I wanted to contest for the national chairmanship.
Okay, yes, you wanted to contest for the national chairman.
So you are mixing me up with somebody else who bears Saliu Mustafa from Adamawa. He is the Northeast Vice Chairman. I'm from Kwara Central, precisely Kwara North, Ilorin. So APC never went into this election divided. You could see that from the day we finished our primaries, we never had any dissenting voice, unlike the major opposition party that had almost 5 governors on one side against their presidential candidate. So if anybody tells you APC went into this election divided, the person is only insinuating. We never went into this election divided.
But your national chairman had another preferred candidate other than Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
He never told you that. If you are only insinuating, but the chairman has never come out to say this is my preferred candidate. We had the primaries and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu emerged the winner of that primaries. So we never had the issue of some governors, some members of the party staying aloof from the campaign or setting their own agenda. No. So that, for the record, APC went into this election as a unified family. On the issue of expectation, Nigerians definitely will be expecting a lot from the APC as a family. All we are asking everybody now to do is, there's always life before and after politics. Politics is over. Now let's face the real aspect of governance. What touches on every one of us. We all operate from the same market forces. So with this, I will appeal to everybody. It's time for us to put all hands on deck. Let's forget about politics. Let's work together. Let's try and see how we can move the nation forward.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Saliu Mustafa. Senator-elect, how enthusiastic are you to get to the Senate? Just before I let you go.
Well, like you know, my slogan has always been doing things differently. I'm hoping I will get there to bring in some new innovations that would bring a vibrant tent assembly and to do things differently again.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you so much. That's Senator-elect Saliu Mustafa. And of course, he's been talking to us about the APC and his challenges ahead of the election, which we've now seen the outcome being in favor of the party. And so I'm also coincidentally being joined by the Senate spokesman who will help us understand some of the issues, and then of course the party. Congratulations to your candidate who has now emerged the president-elect. Tell us more about this president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You have worked with him several times. You are from Osun State. Talk to us more about this person.
Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is, I describe him as a man with an heart of gold. He's going to be an asset, to us as Nigeria. And as you see, both from the speech that they read after the announcement of the result and on the declaration, you can see message of hope for the teeming youth, message of hope about productivity, message of hope about national rebirth. And he has done it before. In Lagos, when he took over in 1999, refuse were being counted in terms of kilometers. Traffic was a serious nightmare. At the same time, you also see problem with the effectiveness of public service. Public finance management was also a serious problem. So he was able to re-engineer. And today, Lagos is not competing with any part of Africa, but is competing globally. So I see a man who is also a talent hunter, who is going to bring the best of the talent of the young, middle level and old people of Nigeria into the governance of our country for national rebirth, which we call the Renew Hope.
Okay, let's talk about Osun State. During this election, National Assembly election, there were lots of challenges here and there, and your party lost out, including yourself. Talk to us about some of that and how.
Out at the election, we know we are going to definitely challenge. The shenanigan of the PDP at the election. In many of the people in my constituency were chased out of their homes. There were a lot of cases of overvoting, harassment of voters, intimidation, ballot snatching, and so on and so forth. So we are cataloging all the anomalies, and definitely we are going to challenge that election. But it's also very important to address an issue, though you have not asked about people misinforming Nigerians about the status of the FCT. The provision of the Constitution does not say that somebody must secure specifically 1/4 of the vote in the capital territory. It is a purposive approach to intervention of the Constitution. We say that in computing the 1/4 of 25 states, you must include Abuja as if it were a state. So that interpretation is mischievous. But of course, if they want to test a law court, that has not impeded INEC from declaring that election result. Yes, elections come with challenges, but where the law allow for election petition is that there will be electoral justice. So we want to appeal to Nigerians, just like in Osun, we are not taking laws to our hand. Nobody should take the law into their hand. They should go and challenge the election if they have any.
All right, just before I let you go, you were part of those who crafted this electoral act. And of course, I want you to tell Nigerians, what was the intent on the issue of electronic transmission of results? Was it because some of you senators during yesterday's plenary were saying that it's now, it was the electronic transfer of electronic results, not electronic transmission.
My brother,
can you just clear the air on this issue?
I read section 60 of the Electoral Act. There's no mention of transmission. The section 60 subsection 4 said that after the election, the presiding officer will transfer the number of accredited voter and the result. Transfer, not transmission. In fact, one of the issues that I know was boggling down the Electoral Act of impasse was whether Nigeria is matured yet in terms of technology, in terms of spread of coverage to have transmission of election. And the position of the National Assembly is that we're not yet there. But what was used, the language used in Section 60 of the Electoral Act is transfer. And I think transfer.
So what's the difference between transfer and transmission of election results?
Transfer is actually that after the election, you take a screenshot or a picture of the ECTA and then you transfer using the beavers. So the question is that if you send a message to my phone, it might not have been received at any point in time. That does not mean that that act has not been done. So the question is whether those presiding officers did actually transfer. If they are transferred, they become functions official. Whether it actually got to the destination, real time, online, will depend on a lot of variables. Whether there will be service, whether there is, data congestion, and so on and so forth.
All right, thank you so much. Senator Ajibola Basiru is the serving senator, and of course, a former Attorney General of Osun State, and of course, one of those people who crafted the Electoral Act, and that was why I had to spend that time to talk to him about this particular issue. And of course, just before we round off this conversation, I've been told that the DG of he is Osita Okechukwu, is the chieftain of the Progressive Congress. Very quickly, we've seen some governors of your party losing their senatorial seats. What do you have to say about that? And then, of course, your what you expect Asiwaju to do for Nigerians.
Thank you very much. Let me start by congratulating Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I sincerely believe he will continue the agrarian revolution Mr. President started. You know, we have what they call the Anchor Borrowers program that touches every peasant farmer, or what they call the smallholder farmers. We need the continuity because we cannot, without feeding ourselves, as President Muhammadu Buhari had admonished. So sincerely, I believe Asiwaju will continue to promote the program of agrarian revolution that Buhari started. I believe as well that he will continue the infrastructure which President Buhari is known. For some of us,
he has said he will do all of that, but I'm saying that
some of us from the east, remember, our own railway had not been standardized. We need a standard gauge rail line. So for some of us, these are the things we'll continue to push and tell the president-elect that look at the Eastern Corridor or the railway from Port Harcourt, Aba Enugu, Lafia, Jos, Medugri, that we need that. So these are the things Mr. President has started. The Western Corridor is okay, so we'll go for the Eastern Corridor.
All right, and then coming back to the question I'd asked you, some of your governors lost out, including the DG of your presidential campaign council, Simon Lalong, the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, and some other governors losing out in their bid to come to the Senate. What do you have to say about that?
No, that's the juice and the festival of democracy, that there is a bi-modal voters accreditation system, that they had created a tsunami. And we have to also thank my brother Peter Obi, his tsunami of the obedient movement, also had introduced a new vista that tomorrow the Nigerian voter is more powerful than they used to be. It's swept across the country. And we commend Peter Obi for that. It's a big feat he achieved.
All right. You quickly sneaked in that Peter Obi thing there. Just very quickly before we return to the studio, I have two persons here, and then 30 seconds. Let's just have one of the presidential aspirants at the last election before we come to you, sir. Just very briefly, what does this mean for lots of Nigerian youths? Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we heard him saying that he's going to ensure that young people and women are given opportunities. Very quickly.
Yeah, this is a win for the Nigerian youth, and we're excited about that. If you listen to our president-elect's speech this morning, he categorically stated that the voice of the youth will be heard. I was glad to hear that this was not just a promise during the campaign. This is going to be a reality. So I want to say congratulations to the Nigerian youth. This is our time to shine. And if you listen to his speech here, he said clearly that someday a young person is going to stand as the president.
Yeah, including a woman too. All right, one of the DG of the mobilization for Tinubu too. Very quickly in 30 seconds.
Yeah, we did it
We went to the election, no money, and we are able to get our president-elect to be elected. So we're happy. We want all Nigerians to come together to form a formidable force behind him so that we can deliver Nigeria.
Okay.
And we are forgiving Arise TV for all the antagonism they did to us. We are now going. We will now come together as one.
What was that antagonism? Well,
You
we've
were-
been doing our job as
you
journalists.
are criticizing us without objectivity. Today, all the things you wrote before, we have now won. So we are brothers and sisters.
Okay.
So we are going to carry everybody along.
All right, we must
Dr.
thank you.
Kelani Muhammad.
Yeah, Dr. Kelani Muhammad is, and of course, he's saying that, Nigerians should expect a lot from the president-elect and his vice president-elect. And it's on this note that I hand over back to you for a continuation of regular programming. That's how it's been here. I mean, all the delegates and APC leaders have all now left the National Coalition Center, including INEC officials, after the closing of the handover ceremony of the certificate of return to the president-elect and the vice president-elect. Back to you.
Thanks to you, Sumner Sambo. Now the Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressive Congress, Yakubu Murtala Ajaka, says the emergence of the party's candidates in the 2023 presidential election, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, reaffirms the unity of the country. Ajaka, in his congratulatory message, says Tinubu's presidency will lead the nation towards economic prosperity. He says, and I quote, "We are confident that the president-elect will work to ensure the continued prosperity of our nation and will work to uphold the values of our country. We are excited to see the positive changes that will come from this new administration in actualizing the renewed hope and aspiration of our people. We are grateful for the security personnel who ensure the safety of all involved and the electoral umpire for their commitment to free and fair elections," end of quote. APC's victory in the presidential and National Assembly elections so far is a testament to the strength of our democracy and the power of the collective voice. This is what he said. He added that Nigeria's decision to vote without ethnic and religious sentiments has shown that those who think a candidate can win a national election based on religion and ethnicity should rethink and work for national unity.
The Lagos West senatorial candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Segun Adewale, is calling on the Independent National Electoral Commission to release the results of Saturday's senatorial elections. Adewale made the call while speaking with newsmen. He says electoral officers and the Alimosho Collation Center has released all other results in Alimosho except for the senatorial seat.
They can't take this election that I've won from me. This one, I've won this election. There's no way anybody can take it away from me. It's not me. It's the people that gave me the mandate. And I can't let this mandate go. It's going to be a shame. You know, I'm representing the people. The people voted for me en masse. They can't take it away from me. These people came. The result was, it took place there, and the result was not given. We asked them, where are the paper, return sheet, you that will be the INEC supposed to have? They said they don't have. We had to put up our own result. When we got to the collation center, we told them, this is the result that happened in booth 088. We were told that they will not put anything there because their own official did not give them results.
I feel this should not continue. We have another major election in about 2 weeks' time, but this one should be corrected. The chairman of INEC in the zone and the national headquarters should look into all this complaint and make something, because for this election to be credible, we are not in 1998, we are in 23. There must be development and things should be increased. The process must be credible, more credible.
Our representatives from the polling unit were not allowed to come in to compare the result given to them at the polling unit with the one they are compiling to the final list. That is one of contention, and it's never done. So after the whole process were completed, they now ask them to come and sign the paper. They have not compared the result given to them at the polling unit. I think you understand what I mean. So what we are arguing for now, they have done it. They have compiled their. Then we have our result. Let's see what you have entered to the final list with the result you gave to us at the polling unit. That's what we're asking for.
Time now for a quick break. More when we return with Nigeria Decides.
What does endless possibilities mean to you? A shop in the perfect location, in the hottest part of town? You don't have to own a physical store to do business. That's why Flutterwave Store helps to put those dreams on track. Providing you with a business solution that connects you to customers around the world. No matter where you are, connect to millions of customers globally on Flutterwave Store. The business solution that helps your business thrive. Start selling on flutterwave.com/store today.
Illegal bushmeat is not cool, but it's on sale in our cities, risking extinction and our health. And many of our iconic wild animals are threatened. So please be cool and say no to illegal bushmeat. And let's make Nigeria better for wildlife and safer for us all. Keep them wild, keep us safe.
I've been running my business on my own, trying my best to get it to the next level, but I really need some help to get ahead. Know just what to do, I'll vault it for my loans, overdraft, step by step to my dream business revolt. Salary earners, entrepreneurs, get your loans with no collateral. Quick sign up, zero paperwork, step by step to your dream business with Vault.
Vault is available to individuals, SMEs, and corporate customers. Download Vault by Polaris Bank from the Google Play Store or Apple App Store to get started today.
The Dangote Group stands at the forefront of African enterprise. Since 1978, we've touched the lives of millions of people by meeting their basic needs. Our belief in the promise of Africa has taken us into 14 African countries, with substantial investments that will propel the continent towards greater prosperity, promising jobs, improved standards of living, and economic growth.
Dangote, for an empowered Africa.
As you adjust to the new realities for operating your business and engaging with your customers, let us help you transform your business into a digital powerhouse capable of adapting and taking advantage of today's opportunities. With our best-in-class array of digital solutions, you can conduct your business, receive payments from your customers, and perform transactions quickly, safely, and conveniently, because we've got you covered with the right people, technology, and service offerings. Contact us today and let us take your business to its zenith. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Welcome back to Nigeria Decides 2023. Among the disparate groups and interests operating in Nigeria's socio-economic space are the physically challenged. In spite of mounting odds imposed by their natural condition, their situation is further made worse by scant recognition in the formulation and implementation of government policies and programs. Successive governments have done pretty little to address most of the fears of this critical demographic. Now, joining us now to discuss this is Dr. Chike Okogu, a disability advocate and leadership expert who joins us to discuss the rights of the physically challenged. Good to have you on the program. Well, of course, as you're aware, we have
Thank you very much. It's a great feeling to be here.
Oh,
thank you very
thanks
much.
for joining us. Well, I'm sure, as everyone is aware, we have a new president-elect. So let me start with your expectations from the new president-elect, as regarding people living with disabilities in Nigeria. What policies, what laws do you expect from the incoming administration?
Well, let me say this out clear. As a person, but I mean, the president-elect as a person, I will say congratulations, big congratulations to him. But for the process that brought him, I represent a large demography. We disagree with the process. We'll talk about that later. But as it is, the work for him is already cut out when it comes to persons with disabilities. I'm glad that Lagos State has a very functional disability commission. They were actually the first to implement a disability commission. So yeah, pretty much, because Lagos State has been able, over the years, done great works with regards to the life of persons with disabilities, I will tell you that there will be some excitement because it comes from an environment that seems to understand what we need. But again, that process that makes him president-elect is what many of us feel so disenfranchised about.
All right, Dr. Okogu, thank you for that. I'm wondering if you participated in the electoral process. I know that there were quite a few sensitization campaigns that were chaired by the CEO of the Albino Foundation, Mr. J.K. Pele, in terms of the assistance that individuals with disabilities might need, additional materials at the voting and the polling booths. If you were there, could you share with us your own experience? And if you weren't, could you relate to us some of the feedback that was gotten, just so that if INEC is listening and in the future, they could put in some improvements in order to make these situations a little less cumbersome for individuals with disabilities?
Yeah, let me use this opportunity again to thank leaders like J.K. Pele, David Senanyele of CCD, Joyce, Grace Jerry of Inclusive Friends. Quite a number of us have been in this advocacy